Giải thích cho lý do vì sao du khách đến Việt Nam tự nhiên có xu hướng giảm đi suốt 13 tháng liền. Nửa đầu năm nay đã giảm đến 11% so với cùng kỳ năm ngoái. Nhà khảo sát Grant Thornton cho rằng, năm ngoái ngành du lịch làm ăn quá tốt, một phần là do tình hình chính trị tại Thái Lan có xáo trộn, nên du khách chuyển hướng sang điểm đến tương tự là Việt Nam. Một lượng du khách quốc tế lớn từ Nga cũng sụt giảm rất nhanh do đồng rúp Nga mất giá, khiến các tour du lịch ra nước ngoài trở nên đắt đỏ với người Nga. Ngoài ra, từ giữa năm ngoái đến nay, khách Trung Quốc đến Việt Nam cũng giảm mạnh. Du khách từ châu Âu thì bị khủng hoảng kinh tế Hy Lạp chi phối, khiến xu hướng thắt chặt chi tiêu ngày càng lớn dần. Ngoài ra, về mặt chủ quan, chế độ visa của Việt Nam quá eo hẹp so với các nước trong khu vực, cũng làm Việt Nam yếu thế hơn so với các nước khác, nhất là lượng khách đi nghỉ ngắn ngày, nghỉ cuối tuần. Những hạn chế trong kinh phí làm xúc tiến du lịch, hạ tầng và nhân sự cũng là điểm trừ đang gây áp lực cho du lịch trong nước.
Chào mừng quý vị đang quay trở lại với chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh với vị khách mời là ông Kenneth Atkinson. Mr. Atkinson, welcome back to our discussion. We were talking about your report on the hotel industry, and according to your report, the number of the foreign arrivals to Vietnam in 2014 has failed to meet the target. What do you think is the main cause? Is it because it was not a good year for the world economy, or is it because we didn't do good enough to attract foreign visitors?
Well, I think the main, as we said earlier, the main impact was really due to the impact of the EC issues and the ruble devaluation, and China accounted for almost 25% of our visitor arrivals. So when that issue arose and there was just a complete drop-off in visitors from China, and it's been very slow to pick up. The Russian market again was a major growth market for Vietnam, and then that just fell away because of the political tensions between Europe and Russia, and the devaluation of the currency.
Okay, so as you have mentioned before, Vietnam has a huge potential for the tourism and the hotel industry to grow, but besides the lack of training for the human resources, what do you think that we can do more to help the industry develop, besides, you know, in terms of service, technology, and more encouragement from the government?
Well, I think one of the key issues which we've been lobbying for a long time is on the visa issues. We still believe that the cost of visas and the cumbersome process to get visas really does have an impact on visitor arrivals. Recently, we've made some progress with the government giving visa exemptions to 5 more European countries. And we hope that we'll see more visa facilitation in the next few months. So that's one of the things that certainly impacts visitor arrivals. Lack of return visitors, and there are lots of different statistics that we see being thrown around on either the large percentage of return visitors or the small percentage of return visitors. We actually believe it's less than 10%, whereas Thailand, for example, it's close to 50%. So what drives people to Thailand? Second home ownership is a big driver. So people have homes, second homes in Thailand, and they go year after year after year to the same place. And when you've got young children or families, that really is a big incentive. So we're hoping that with the change in property ownership laws from July the 1st, that we might see more foreigners buying property and therefore driving return visitors. We need to have more entertainment for families, more things for families to do. And there really is a lack of that in Vietnam. There are a lot of things, but they're not promoted properly or they're not developed properly. So, one example is I was down in Phan Chiet at the weekend, and it's almost like a ghost town there.
Why is that? This is a summertime, and this.
Yeah, but there's no, it was all developed really on the back of Russian tourists. And of course they're not coming anymore. So I mean, shops are empty, restaurants are empty, places are closing. But you've got at Hon Rom, you've got the yellow sand dunes. But you go to Bao Chang, which is another 20 kilometres. Hardly anybody knows about it. It's very easy to miss the turn-off to the white dunes, which are more spectacular in my opinion than the yellow sand dunes. The road, once you get off the main road, there's about 5 kilometres of really, really bad, unmade road. And that wouldn't cost a lot to just make it an easier drive, promote the place and drive more visitors there.
Yeah, so the return of the tourists, of the visitors, is very great points there. So basically, like you said, out of 10 people that went to Thailand, 5 of them returned, right? Well, in Vietnam, out of 10 people, only 1 people returned. For what reason? Of course, it's not for visit reason, not for leisure, right?
No, it's partly to do with the visa issue, I think. Again, the cost and the trouble of having to get visas. Or we have the e-visa application now, which is certainly a step forward. But people talk about this when they go back. They say, "Yeah, we had a great time in Vietnam, great place, great people." Oh, but immigration at the airports and the chaos of trying to get a visa. So I think, and then we've had lots of cases, although I think it's getting better, of road taxi drivers ripping tourists off, and, a lot of petty theft taking place in hotels and in the streets. So, and people talk about this, and they, particularly now with media, people put it on Facebook and all their friends know about it, and that also has an impact. So I think there's certain enablers that the government can put in place to make it easier and more attractive for people to come. We need to spend a lot more money on destination marketing than we currently do. You've only got to look on CNN or BBC World Service, and you see the amount of money that's being spent by the Philippines, by Malaysia, by Cambodia on promoting their countries. And we're competing with those. Thailand is another one that spends huge amounts of money.
But some other places, like in Phu Quoc, I went there, and I always want to go there again. And we have like Ba Na in Da Nang. I always want to go there again. So are they a good examples that for others to follow, or do you reckon any of the places that can be a good example? Right.
Well, Phu Quoc, of course, is a good example. They've got an international airport. It's visa free, so foreigners flying in, but there's only one flight from Singapore at the moment, but that obviously will change over time. So that makes it attractive. It's a relatively new destination. The island is still very unspoilt in most places. So, new destination, people are attracted to new destinations. We saw that in Thailand with Phuket and Koh Samui. But you've got to stay ahead of the game. So there's very little again at the moment for families to do in Phu Quoc. But of course the Vinh Pearl development is a great step forwards. So you've got entertainment for children, you've got golf course for parents or fathers, and more family things to do.
And one of the ways that you have suggested before to attract more visitors is that we need a visa waiver program. But in exchange of the reduce of the visa fees that can contribute a lot to the government budget, what can we have?
Well, I threw some numbers out a couple of weeks ago that I looked at the visitor arrivals from Europe, North America, and Australia, New Zealand, 1.6 million a year. So if you drop visa fees for those countries, you lose about $11 or $12 million in visa fees a year. But people from those destinations, they will stay 11, 12, 14 days. Average spend at the moment of visitors is over $100. So you actually get more revenue coming into the economy than you lose on visa fees. The government gets, or should be getting, 10% VAT on those services that are being provided. So actually there's a net gain to the country, and there's a net gain for private industry. And you know, people have to realise that tourism is a major contributor to GDP. Directly, indirectly, it's almost 10%. So you know, the more people come, the more money they spend, the better it is for the country.
And of course, the revenue for the tourism industry is a huge amount, and compared to the visa fees that we like we waive for the foreigners. Right? Thank you very much, and we'll come back to the show after the short break. Cảm ơn quý vị vẫn đang theo dõi chương trình Đồng tiền thông minh, và chúng tôi sẽ tiếp tục chương trình với ông Kenneth Atkinson sau ít phút giải lao.